Greetings, Pathfinders. Welcome to my special edition here of my Friday show. Normally on Fridays, the stream would start at 4 o'clock and I would be doing third-party reviews. But this week, Paizo Live is going to have a plethora of all this new great role-playing game information, and I don't want anyone to miss that, so I did not want my show competing with theirs. So instead, I'm just going to be cracking some Yu-Gi-Oh! Packs here from this Legendary Duelist set featuring Merrick and a bunch of nostalgia, and making monsters based on them. Seeing how fast I could do it now that I've gotten a little better at the PF2 Monster Builder program. In addition, I did want to give out some little shout-outs. We do have that Paizo Live. If you want your Pathfinder and Starfinder questions answered, you should head to the Paizo.com blog, check out their latest post, and post your questions in their blog, and they will get to them at the end of the stream. It includes Thirsty, Linda, Logan Bonner, Ron Lundeen, John Compton, and more will all be on stream to talk about all their latest products, including one I'm really thrilled about this month is Kindled Magic. It is the first of the Strength of Thousands AP, and the reason I'm so excited about it, check out Archives of Nethys, look up the Life in the Academy subsystem, because it's from this book on page 60. It is so good that I've memorized the page number. It is the coolest adventure path subsystem I have ever seen included. It gives options and choices to the players right there at character creation that lends to a great creative way to impactfully put the players into the setting and make them feel like they're part of it without impacting their class level choices, feat choices, etc., etc. It's very easy to adapt to your own system, especially if you have a themed AP, as I've done. You probably seen on my social media. I did for my firefighting campaign. It's not that hard to adapt to your own. I'll present an article about it later on No Direction. Talking about No Direction, there is a painting. We are going to be painting miniatures. Param sent me this great set of paints, and we're all going to be painting miniatures together on Wednesday. So if you want to get together and have some incentive to finally paint those minis that you've had sitting around since you completed whatever Kickstarter or 3D printing run that you've done, come join us. We'll be talking about role-playing games, I'm sure, while we show off what we're painting on camera. Alright, with enough of that out of the way, let's see if I could actually make more than one monster. This stream will be a little longer than usual. Before I forget, I will have a third-party review stream tomorrow at our normal time of 4 p.m. Pacific. I'm not 100% sure which book I will be reviewing, or if I'm just going to be talking about third-party in general, as for a long time I've wanted to do a show where I am just talking about what I do to find my third-party books, and the mistakes that I made early in my Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder career, not using third-party books until only a couple years ago. And now that I do, I'm so much happier. And I will explain that though all on Saturday. Let's get to cracking some stupid packs and making some stupid monsters, because if you haven't known, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been doing, it's always done nostalgia to that first series. That's really where all the fans came from. This is also my Fortune Lady Madoka playmat. But for those who don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has been doing a lot of God card stuff recently. The game has long since hit a point where the God cards are more than fine in the card game without any bans. That does kind of show how absurd the power level's gotten in the game. But with the release of the Slifer and Obelisk God card decks, I really do just want to make 3 God card decks that are balanced around each other and kind of just have them around. When I meet up with friends, we could just kind of play them against one another. It's fun. Plus, there are some really cool monster designs in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's even some fun game designs, frankly, that things that, like, wow, I really wish Magic would do something like that. I mean, it does happen. I'm not going to say it's the best design card game out there, but it's far from the worst. Just put it that way. And it's fun. It's a fun game. I mean, during lunch breaks in college, would much prefer playing this over Magic, if anything, just because the games only go for about 15-30 minutes, and they are fun. Alright, so Mechlord Emperor Grinnell, that would be a tough monster to make pre-Guns and Gears, wouldn't it? A construct like that, but ooh, and a Mechlord Emperor Synchro Absorption. Again, that would be a fun one to try to do. I think Psychic Mega Cyber might be a little easier, but there are other Jinzo cards in here I'd rather do, so I'm actually going to try to do Synchro Absorption. For those who don't know, while the Mech Lords are the one theme in this booster that are not related to Merrick, the iconic duelist of this set, they were the final villains deck archetype, I believe, in Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Their whole thing is anti-synchro, synchro being another way to summon monsters from the extra deck, kind of like fusion. They were a series of machines that could absorb the synchro monsters and just take their powers. Or in this case, I'm probably just going to have them absorb a certain type of monster. We'll see what this does. Alright, so I need to switch that. We am not doing Reactor Slime. That would be another interesting one to do, though, wouldn't it? There we go. Mechlord Emperor Synchro Absorption. 2500 can only be summoned when a Mechlord monster you control is destroyed or sent to the graveyard once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one monster your opponent controls. It can't attack for the rest of the turn. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, you can tribute it, negate the activation, and destroy the card. So this one doesn't absorb so much as it protects. It is definitely a construct. Oh, let me get that there. There we go. So the first thing you gotta do, of course, is think what kind of construct is this one most like. The Mech Lords are all about anti-magic, so I'm thinking golems. Let's go ahead and load ourselves. Open URL. We will look up a golem. I think an iron golem's a fun way to start for this. It's classic. It's a good CR for something this big. Think about the Mech Lords. They are only level 1 monsters, but that's because they get their power from absorbing other monsters. Yeah, let's go lower than that then. Let's just create from scratch. Alright, so the Mech Lords are usually big, but this only represents a add-on to a Mech Lord. We're just going to make it large, not huge. We're going to make it medium. This is kind of an incorporeal... Oh my god, this is the incorporeal construct. I've ranted for quite a while about how much fun it would be to have an incorporeal construct, and here we go. I get to make an incorporeal construct. That makes me so happy. Alright, so we're going to give this incorporeal traits. Oops, there we go. And let's go through this really quick. We will make this the equivalent power of a level 6 monster. We're only going to display it as level 3. And I will explain why when we're all... Well, I'll explain why now. Because while this monster will have kind of the stats of a level 6 monster, it's not intended to be a level 6 threat. It is more intended to just be something that another construct has with it. Because while it has some oomph to it, its central abilities are not exactly intended to be used as a direct threat. It is a supplementary threat, so it's something you add on to another monster. So let's go ahead and level 6. Let's add a base roadmap. Since this is a support type, we will make it kind of a in-base spellcaster? No, it's a magical skirmisher, sniper, soldier, brute. We will kind of make this a skill paragon themed around, I'm going to say intelligence. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to apply all those. Strength +2, Dex +2, Con +2, Intelligence +7. This is these intelligent Mech Lord Emperor wise? Well, they are artificially intelligent, so I'm going to have to make that a special ability just for these, and this thing is super, super smart. We're going to lower its charisma to abysmal, though, because this thing has no sense of self. So let's go terrible, and we are going to increase its... Once per turn, it can be special summoned, target one monster an opponent controls. It can't attack for the rest of the turn. Okay, that's fine. Alright, armor class will just be moderate, fort low, reflex low, will... I like giving it a low will because this thing is meant to be a servitor. So instead we're going to give it a high fortitude, but don't tell anyone. We will also give this thing some resistances. Let's give it resistance to... What does Iron Golem have? I believe they have resistance to, like... They have resistance to something, don't they? Maybe they don't. Maybe they just have high AC. Oh, no, they do. Here we go. Alright, immunities. We're just going to copy and paste all of them construct immunities because there's a lot of them, as to be expected. And this will also have some of the incorporeal resistances, which are very much like the Iron Golem resistances. So physical 15, except adamantine ghost touch? Wow, that would make this very hard to deal with if this wasn't meant to be something that sacrifices itself to save another. Normally ghosts have... Except Force, Ghost Touch, or Positive. Except Adamantine, Force, Ghost Touch, or Positive. That actually makes it a little bit less of a resistance than a Golem. 15 is way too high, though, for this CR. We're going to make this 9, which is the highest it could go at the 6 CR. In fact, we're going to make it an even 10, which seems high, but again, this guy is going to sacrifice themselves as part of their special ability. Alright, let's see, we have acrobatics, we have arcana. Okay, I always like listing a monster's athletics, because you never know when you want to shove. I like having arcana high, it should have that high. I even like having crafting high for this idea of a robot artificial intelligence. We don't need deception. We don't need diplomacy. We don't need occultism. Let's lower Arcana too. We don't need that. We don't need society. Stealth? Okay, you never know. You might want to encounter where this thing is stealthy, I suppose. It doesn't need any items. Perception moderate. I'm fine with that. If you're fine with that, we're fine with that. Let's give this thing a speed of fly 25 feet. It is always hovering because it is that ghost that you see there on the card, not the robot that it's protecting. I do believe. If it is the robot, then the robot attaches to another... Ooh, we can do that too. Alright, and abilities is really why we're all here. So, special abilities. At least one special ability the creature uses in combat. Yep. Alright, so the first ability, you need something to stop creatures from attacking the monster that it's bonded to. Actually, first we should do the bond, I believe. So let's call this Machina Bond, Mechlord Bond. This will be a general ability. It will have no actions. It will have whatever traits that Shield Other has. Necromancy? I don't like necromancy. It's an abjuration. Alright, Mechlord Bond. Alright, what is this thing? Synchro Absorption. Alright, so Mechlord, Emperor, Weisel. Let's just call it Synchro This Mechlord forges a bond with another construct, protecting it from harm at even if it means sacrificing itself. Alright. It can only bond to one construct at a time. If the construct... to one construct at a time. If that construct is reduced to 0 hit points or otherwise destroyed, this Mechlord may destroy itself. No, let's make that part of reaction. To one construct at a time. It always knows the location of this construct and may occupy its space and move at... and may occupy its space. When fully absorbed, this creature moves... This Mechlord moves at the same time as the other creature, gaining slowed 1 on its turn. Alright, so this way it absorbs into the other Mechlord and moves with it, but that doesn't mean it gets all that free movement on its turn, because it will only get 2 actions if it does that, which, that's fine. It's inside it anyway. I do need to give this an attack, but first, alright, Mechlord Sacrifice. Let's call it Synchro Sacrifice. The essence of the absorbed monster, absorbed creature, outsider, absorbed in this Mech Lord can be forcefully ejected to save its bonded construct. Doing so destroys the Mech Lord. I should put that there. Alright, so let's do it like this. The essence of the... Alright, so this will be a defensive ability. It will be a reaction. And like any reaction, it has to have a requirement and a trigger. So requirement... it doesn't... an adjacent bonded construct would become broken or destroyed. Alright, or would that be a trigger? I think that would definitely, that would be requirement, you are not encumbered, trigger, a creature targets you. No, that would be the trigger. I guess the requirement would just be adjacent. The Mech Lord is adjacent to a bonded construct. Trigger becomes broken and cannot move and cannot act. There we go. That way, the bonded would be destroyed. Is destroyed, not would be destroyed, is destroyed. There we go. Okay, that way, even though this has the stats of a level 6 monster, if the thing it's bonded to is destroyed, it just stops moving. So that's why I'm counting this as a level 3, even though it does add a lot of oomph to an encounter. The Mech Lord is adjacent to a bonded construct. Trigger. The bonded construct would become broken or destroyed. The essence of the outsider absorbed in this Mech Lord can be forcibly ejected, save it can be destroyed. To save the essence of the outsider, to save a bonded construct. When you would... let's make this like Breath of Life. So this is the triggering creature would die. The Mech Lord prevents its bonded construct from being destroyed and restores hit points equal to its remaining hit points. The become broken or destroyed except by disintegrate or a death effect. There we go. Well, they're immune to, constructs are immune to death effects. Well, let's put it in just in case. You never know, you might have a construct that for some reason specifically says that it is not in fact immune to a death effect. I don't know why, but you could. Alright. And of course this thing can stop things from attacking, which would be like calm emotions. So let's make this, that's a 10-foot burst though, this only does one creature. So let's make this its own ability, offensive, emotion, enchantment, let's make this like hold person. I can't see this actually calming somebody's emotion. This is more like hold person. Hold creature, I think it's called hold creature in 2E. Yeah, hold monster, it's called hold, no, it's a 1E. It is called, there is no hold person type thing. Oh yeah, let's do calm emotions then. Alright, so let's call this hold hostility, hold back. Mech Lord paralyze. This is an offense. It is a 2 action. It will have the incapacitation trait. It will have the abjuration's never used offensively, is it? It is not. Paralyze, holds. Alright. This will have incapacitation. I'll figure out the other traits later. The Mech Lord shoots out a tether of electricity to hold a target in place. shoots out a tether of electricity to hold the target in play, to paralyze its target, to shock and paralyze its target. The target takes, let's say, low, moderate, 2d6. The target... Oh, sorry about that. Alright, we got this. This deals 3d6 damage to the target. Basic reflex. Basic fortitude. Let's just paralyze the target. Actually, I need to make this part of a strike. So let's make it a melee strike. Let's give... Hold on. We'll hold off on that later. We're going to give this thing a moderate melee strike. No traits necessary. Let's just make this do 2d6 plus 8 bludgeoning. And then we're going to give this a ranged. Let's call this a fist, blade. Let's call this a blade and make it slashing. And then we will give this a range strike called Electro Tether. And we will give this a plus 15 as well. Let's give this a plus. There we go. We'll give that a plus 15, the other one a plus 16. It will do low damage. Electric plus paralyze. Plus Mechlord paralyze. Paralysis. There we go. Mechlord paralysis. Alright. Alright, so the Mechlord shoots out tethered electricity to hold and shock, to hold and paralyze its target. This won't deal additional damage then. The target of a Mechlord's Electro Tether, a creature. The creature last damaged by the Mechlord's Electro Tether this round takes, let's say, additional 2d4 electric damage. Basic fortitude. If it, on a failure, it becomes paralyzed, which I believe you have to put the condition of how long paralysis lasts. Flat-footed, can't react, your senses still function, you can't seek while paralyzed. Alright, it becomes paralyzed for 1 round. On a critical failure, it becomes paralyzed for 2 rounds. Great! Alright, so here you have it. Simple. Mechlord Emperor Weisel, Synchro Absorption. I wanted to create more monsters, though, because the Mechlords were probably the least interesting monsters I could have made in here. How do I save? Download PNG. Save. Great. Alright, let's open another pack. I'm tired of the Mechlords. I'm not doing another Mechlord today. I would have to get one heck of a Mechlord to want to do another Mechlord. Alright, so let's go back here to slide focus. See what else we get. Oh, still 25 minutes. I can make these monsters faster than that. If I don't get another construct. Maybe it was the wrong pack for that. Probably could do this faster with Forgotten Realms, since those are all, you know, made for the dragons. Here, let's see. We have another Mechlord. Don't want to do those. Alright, since I said no more Mechlords, we're not going to bother. Those who don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Packs only have between 5 and 9 cards. Most modern packs only have 5 cards, which was actually to bring them in line with the original card game in Japan. Oh, Jinzo would be fun. Jinzo Ejector would be fun. Alright. Definitely going to do Jinzo in this. Jinzo's classic monster. Everyone knows and loves them. I like him too. His Japanese name was Jinzo Ningen Psycho Shocker. He was the idea being that he's like a psychic that was enhanced with machines and then bound by them. In the card game, he destroys traps. which means he makes it hard for things to react to him because he's a psychic, he can see the future. You're not going to stop him with your silly traps. Let's get rid of that. Go Jinzo. For those who don't know him, even though he is one of the most iconic cards in the game, so much so they made an entire archetype simply based on the one card, because he also was one of the strongest cards released at the time. Alright, so let's clear all that. Delete monster. Delete. Alright, so there is a monster I kind of want to theme Jinzo based on that I thought of beforehand, which was from Abomination Vaults Volume 2 by Vanessa Hoskins. It was called Durlazo. It starts with a D. D Durlazo. And it has one ability that I definitely have to give Jinzo. I just want to find Discard Guardian. DEZ. Dezulon. No, it's a plant. Alright, I'm gonna find this another way. Let's go Sources. Let's go Adventure Paths. Let's go Ruins of Gauntlet. Hands of the Devil. Let's look under Creatures. Monsters. Dreshkan. I'm gonna make this like a Dreshkin. Alright, let's do this. Dreshkins are these flesh-warped creatures. They are part construct, part aberration. Nasty, nasty things. So let's, under traits, let's make this unique, because I do think of Jinzo as a unique monster. Whether or not he is or not, I don't know, up to you. Let's make him lawful evil. Let's make him a medium aberration. Let's make him let's make him let's make him an aberration. Yeah, let's make him an aberration construct. And let's also go ahead and give him type size. Oh, there's alignment. That's why I did that, right? Alignment, lawful, evil. Where's the chaotic evil? Let's just make him evil. Neutral evil it is. Alright, for level Jinzo, I want him to do something really cool. Let's make him level 8. The Dreshkin's level 4, but that's fine. Level 8's fine. For type, we are definitely going to make him a spellcaster. So let's go base roadmap. Let's make him a intelligence-based spellcaster. Excellent, excellent. Alright, so under languages, he is going to know common... No, he's not. He's just going to know... Jinzo. He's going to know common, Aklo, cannot speak. Alright, you do that when you want a creature that can't speak but can still understand. He is completely masked up. He can't talk. He is... I believe he could talk in the anime when he was in GX, but... Alright, armor class moderate, will save high, reflex moderate, flow fortitude. Fine with all that. This guy has low defense. Let's give him 97 hit points. Feels better for him. Under immunity, we'll give him immunity to electricity because he is the android shocker. Electricity. And we will also give him a +2 status bonus against all those things that constructs are normally immune to. There we go. And let's also go ahead and give him partially technological, which makes it so positive healing only affects him half as much. So that will be a defensive special ability. No, that will be a general special ability. With no actions, and it's called partially technological. Alright, and let's give him max occult, because he is a total occult caster. Let's also give him some moderate arcana. Let's give him moderate perception's fine. Let's give him high perception. We'll give old Jinzo high perception here. He has low acrobatics. He has low athletics. He has high intimidation. No, he has moderate intimidation. Without low charisma, he only has moderate intimidation. I do like the strength being high, charisma being low, dex being low. Okay, that's fine. Let's give him a little lower there on the wisdom. No, +2 is fine. Alright, we're cool with that. Society, stealth, survival, training, thievery, lore, performance. Alright, we're good on those skills. For attacks, He does not have any normal melee attacks, but he is strong. He has... What is Jinzo's special attack? I think he has a ball of energy. Jinzo's special attack is... I know he had a special name for it. Oh, he has eye lasers. Oh, yeah. Alright, we're going to give him eye lasers. I think the Jinzo Lord could also attack with those belts wrapped around him. There's so many belts in Yu-Gi-Oh! I love it. But we're just going to do that if we get a Jinzo Lord, which will modify off this. So let's give him, speed. Let's give him 20 feet. He's slow. Spellcaster, low attack bonus, moderate, or low damage. Normally that is true, but this attack is basically his main shebang. So let's give this evocation... range 20 feet. Let's look up at something that has eye lasers. So let's look up the Tismal tool on 2E real quick. That is called the Titzelmitzel. So Titzelmittel. Here we go. They call them, do they call them eye lasers? I believe they call them eye lasers. They call them something fun like that. Eye beam. So we're going to call it eye beam. It will have a high attack, because it hits quite often, and is hard to defend against. Range 100 on the original. We'll give this range 50. It does have to be evocation, then, I suppose. And it will do... Let's give it 3d10. I like a lot of d6s on my attacks like this. So what's 3d10 and d6s would be 4d6? 24, 24, yep. So let's go 4d6 electricity. There we go. Oh, the original I-beam does do force as well. Let's do 2d6 electricity plus 2d6 force. There we have it. Alright. Oh, and that is a ranged attack. That's definitely a ranged attack. Which makes me want to say, let's flip the strength in the dex. He is dexier, then he is strengthier. And as for spell casting, ooh, that's always time consuming. But let's go ahead and do it really quick here. We are looking for psychic occult spells. So let's do spell attack will be moderate, spell DC will be extreme. I don't like extreme spell DC. Let's give him 28, which is between extreme and moderate. Alright. So, limited 96, partly technological. Alright, so let's go ahead and give him occult spellcasting as a 4th level caster. Focus 0. Alright, so imprint message, object reading. I like imprint message on this, actually. That's kind of neat. I'll give him imprint message. That's a 1st level spell. So let's heighten it. Imprint message. He needs a little bit of psychic stuff like that. It's just fun. Mending? No. Magic weapon, magic missile, magic aura, thoughtful icon, animated assault. I like animated assault for Jinzo because that was something he did with his belts. And then we will also go ahead and give him Dispel Magic, because that is the other thing he does, is he says no to all your magic stuff. Do I need to do how many times per day? Yeah, I do. No, that's only when it's multiple. So let's go Dispel Magic. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, and finally, let's go ahead and give him Mind Reading. Endure, Agitate, Mind Link, Mind Games? No. Bind Undead, Touch of Idiocy, Mind Reading is a 3rd level spell. So, Mind Reading and Mental Assault. Some kind of Mental Assault. Mind Blank. That is way too high level. Let's give him Animus Mind. Ooh, Animus Mind's fun. Well, it's niche. It's way too niche. Let's give him Synaptic Pulse. Ah, that's a 5th level spell. Let's just give him blue. Mind Games, Vomit Swarms, See Invisibility. I'm going to give him See Invisibility as a 2nd level spell because you do not sneak up on Jinzo. He hates traps. Alright. And then, I can make that constant. No, I don't want to. Alright. Oh, and shatter. In our first level, I'm also going to give him magic missile and phantom pain. Very good, very good, very good. And I should give him the cantrip of detect magic and ghost sound and daze. Daze. There we go. And the cool thing I want to make with him was a reaction. So let's go ahead and give him a reaction that stops other reactions, which is something that thieves usually get, rogues usually get, which would look something like reaction. What is that thing called? Methodological debilitations, precise tactical debilitations. Was that what it was called? Nope, that is something different. Debilitation, fantastic lead, flinch, preparation, reactive interference. Yes. So, trigger an adjacent enemy or hazard within 40 feet begins to use a reaction. Adjacent enemy begins to use... Actually, let's make it like that. An enemy begins to use a reaction, or a hazard begins to use a reaction or action. Requirements. Requirement. Jinzo is within 30 feet of the target. An enemy begins to use a reaction, or a hazard begins to use an action. Jinzo fires an I-beam at the target. If the triggering creature's level is equal to or lower than Jinzo, they disrupt the triggering reaction. If the triggering target, I have to say target because it can do this to hazard. So if the triggering target's level is equal to or lower than Jinzo, they disrupt the triggering reaction. And capitalize Jinzo. If the triggering target's level is higher than Jinzo's, they must make an attack roll against its AC. On a success, it disrupts the reaction. Oh, so only this one hits. Alright, let's just do it like this. If the triggering target is hit, they disrupt the triggering action. Or action. There we go. So if anyone tries to do anything around Jinzo, if it's a reaction or if it's a hazard, it could just shoot an I-beam at it and it's out of there. I love it. I love it. It's simple, but it is what Jinzo does. And it kind of gives you this idea of a technological psychic. Jinzo senses the danger about to unfold and fires an I-beam at the target. There we go. I don't like the strength actually being that high. I'm just going to give it a +1 strength, +3 dex, because that shows high alacrity, so it could respond to those kind of things. So only give it a +2 con. This thing is all about +2 wisdom's fine. Let's give it a +1 charisma, though, because he is all bound like that. He is very much like a Velstrak, which I like that a lot. Cool. In fact, I'm going to give him... no, I'm not. Alright, we're cool. We're good with that. Let's download this PNG. Save. Save. Jinzo, you should give him an aura whenever trapped triggering the aura has to succeed a flat check or fail when the trigger occurs. Yeah. Yeah, Alex is right. I really should also give him an aura like that, shouldn't I? I am so doing that. Alright, so let's give him a defensive aura. None. Let's give it the aura trait. Let's give it the... you know what? Let's make an occult aura. Abjuration aura. Let's call this... Oh, I forgot about this. What do I call this? Let's just call this the same as the rogue ability for now. Reactive interference. That's a cool sounding ability. So, reactive interference. Let's give this anti-trap master aura. Anti-trap. Yeah. Let's get reactive interference. Let's get rid of the whole hazard thing, because I don't like shooting I-beams at hazards. I think that's kind of dumb. So let's just the triggering reaction. Great. Category defense action none. All right. So any hazard or any trap that attempts to activate within 100 feet of Jinzo must succeed at a DC 10 flat check or fail to trigger when the Any trap that attempts to activate within 100 feet of Jinzo must succeed at a DC 10 flat check or fail to trigger. Yeah, I think we go with that, or fail to trigger. Any trap that attempts to... Yeah, there we go. But doesn't Torrental Torrent would be a hazard. Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Any trap or hazard. Any hazard. All traps are hazard, so any hazard. Are all traps hazard? Are ranger traps hazards? I am not 1,000,000% sure, because those would be the hazard that PCs would use. Would be rangers throwing out their little traps, which you don't see too often, but it is a mechanic. Hunter's Edge, Outwit, Precision, Ranger traps, Snares. Are snares considered traps? I mean, are they considered hazards? Snares. Hazard. Alright. Snares are not hazards, they are traps. So we need to any hazard or trap. Alright, cool. We got that now. So let's go ahead and save this. Download PNG. I'm going to open another pack because we have another 15 minutes. I need to get faster at this, and that is one of the reasons I'm doing this is so I could pump out monsters faster and faster and faster and faster. Yes, Torrental Tribute is in fact a hazard, so he will disrupt hazards as well. Of course, what gets funny is when he disrupts a trap that disrupts all traps. Royal Decree. Jinzo versus Royal Decree was a funny one. It was just kind of, the ruling was just kind of, it doesn't matter. I guess it would disrupt Royal Decree, but who cares? Delete monster. Delete Jinzo. Alright, let's see what we get. I hope it's not Raw, because he will take longer than 15 minutes to stat out, but he'd be a fun one. Alright, we got another Mech Lord, which is... Okay, Holding Arms. There's an interesting point. This is a Fiend, despite the fact it looks like a Construct. Well, let's get him up here. Holding Arms. So Holding Arms and Holding Legs were two traps used in the show to bind enemy duelists with their magic holograms. Despite being monsters, they look like they're just constructs or something, as they are kind of these torture implements, which made them in the game a kind of semi-trap, semi-magic spell that could be attacked by other monsters. That was kind of the mechanic they were going for with that. Let's save the image. Holding Arms. Which, making hazards that appear to be monsters or monsters that appear to be hazards does have its advantages in the game, especially if you have a group of players who don't have anybody who could deal with a hazard. Not a lot of skillful PCs. It is totally something that you could do. Holding Arms. Let's just go ahead and make this a level 2. This could be low level. In fact, I'm going to open this based on another creature, I think. Which is something I wanted to do and was actually my main reason originally for doing this. So let's make this based on animated armor. It's going to be substantially different than animated armor, but by using this on the monster tool, it really helps you get your basic stats down and get stuff down like, yeah, mindless. Okay, cool. Strength +3, Dex +3, sure, or Dex -3. Yeah, that makes sense for something like this. This thing doesn't want to move around a whole lot. I think I want to... Well, it wants strength, because it wants to hold you down. It's not really about the dex. Con 4, that's fine. Intelligence -5, that makes sense. Wisdom 0, that makes sense. Charisma -5, that makes sense. Armor class lowers when broken, that totally makes sense. High fort, reflex, will. Alright, that all makes perfect sense. I'm going to go ahead. If this card's normal summoned or set, you could target one face-up monster your opponent controls. While this card is face-up on the field, that face-up monster cannot attack, and its effects are negated. While that face-up monster is on the field, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Alright, so we're going to have to modify that a little, because we don't want this thing to be impossible to destroy. It is going to have high hit points, though, in addition to that moderate AC. This thing is going to be hard to destroy, largely because it's not doing too much damage. Which reminds me to get rid of these attacks. It will have one attack. It will do a low attack. Well, it wants that attack so it can snatch onto you. So let's call this Cuff. I could have just left it as Gauntlet, come think of it. So a Cuff attack. It will be agile, magical, so it could snag incorporeal creatures. It does do some bludgeoning damage, plus grab. Because this thing has its cool improved grab ability, which will be exactly like another monster we have in here. I'm going to say exactly like the Choker is the first thing I think of when I think of grabbing people for excessive long periods of time. So it has the yank ability. An enemy targets the Choker with an attack, and it will yank it. It has grabbed and restrained into the path of the attack. Okay, that's cool. Alright, so I'm going to steal the yank ability from the Choker, because that is just cool. It is a defensive ability that lets it yank creatures in the way of an attack, so that you will hit the creature that it is holding instead of the Choker itself. So let's steal that. Enemy targets the... what is this thing called again? Holding arms. Holding arms. Alright, so an enemy targets the... this is a fiend? That's weird. Alright, holding arms with an attack. So this thing is kind of technically a fiend. Let's give it a Bizzle. Cannot speak. So it can take orders. This way you could summon it with Mindless Fiend. Let's make this Lawful Evil because it is... in fact, if it's Lawful Evil, let's not make it a Bizzle. Let's make it that other one, Infernal. Cannot speak. Alright, so this is a Construct Fiend. We have those. That works. That works. Let's, in that case, give it Weakness to Good. And we will give it Resistance to Fire. +1 status bonus to all saves versus magic. No, I want to give this the same kind of bonus the Dreshkin gets, which is a +1 status bonus to saves versus everything that hurts constructs, rather than giving it straight up just immunity to all the construct stuff. We will actually, let's give it a... let's not give it immunity fire. Let's give it resistance fire. We don't want to completely destroy fire people, do we? I don't like destroying fire people. Let's give it 20 feet speed. Let's give it 10 feet speed, 25 fly speed. So fly 25 feet. All right. All right. So holding creatures, Choker, Constrict. Oh, right, that's it. It's doing its damage with Constrict. So we definitely need Constrict on here. Constrict, we will have it do 1d6 plus 3. So Constrict is the title. It is a 1-action activity that does 1d6 plus 3 bludgeoning with a DC 19 to escape. Great, great, great. An enemy targets the holding arms with an attack. The holding arms tries to pull a creature it has into the effect of the attack, including bonuses to grapple. The holding arms, not Choker. Come on. Great. Alright, so, and of course you need an ability that lets it plus strangling. Okay, we don't want grab, we want something more than that, so that's plus holding. I'm just gonna say plus snare. Snare's already a term. Let's plus, what's that called? Handcuffs? Plus cuffs. Let's not call this attack cuffs then, let's call it arms. Bludgeoning, slam. Let's just call it a slam. And then plus cuffs. So cuffs. This will be the fun ability. Let's make this so no actions. Any creature hit by a holding arms slam strike holding arms slam strike is automatically grabbed. And is automatically grabbed. The creature cannot cast spells even if they lack a somatic component without succeeding at a DC 7 flat check. Alright, I like that. Cannot cast spells. Let's say use a hostile action. No, that sounds weird, but it's what this thing does. It cuffs you into place, and for whatever reason, let's make this... Is this a mental effect? It kind of is. It is torturing. Let's give it the mental tag. Strike is automatically grabbed. Of course, this would only be grabbed until the end of the turn, but you know what? That is fine, because it could try to grab you later. We want to give this thing an absurdly high athletics, maybe extreme. Extreme's a little bit... Let's give it a little bit... Let's give it a +9, but +11 to grab. To grapple. Let's give it a high stealth. This thing does hide after all. And I do like putting its acrobatics in case it needs to avoid an attack of opportunity. And with that, we are good. We have ourselves some holding arms. And it is almost... Could I do one more monster? I'm going to try to do one more monster, see if I can do it in 8 minutes or less before the Paizo stream starts. Check out the Paizo stream. Once again, I will be streaming tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, doing my third-party reviews, talking about the mistakes I made early in my role-playing game career, not paying enough attention to third-party, what you should do to pay attention to third-party, what third-party authors you should pay attention to. No, not like a list. I'm going to go over like how to analyze it yourself, and how you could fall in love with certain developers, and why you really should give third-party a second look, especially here in the age of Pathfinder 2nd Edition and Starfinder, both of whom have a lot more safety measures in place when it comes to potential to break your game with new systems. Alright, I want to open another pack, though. I'm not even fishing for a specific card from the set, although I do admit Slime Reactor would be the most fun card I could do. Jinzo, Mech Lords. Again, I don't want to do Mech Lords. After Guns and Gears comes out, I would be happy to do another one of these, seeing how they do clockwork, maybe for the Mech Lords or something. Alright, Jinzo Returner, Fiend Mega Cyber. Let's do a quick Jinzo Returner. I could do that super fast. Especially if I can find the old Jinzo here, which I knew there was a way to do that here. Duplicate Monster Collection? No. Alright, I'm not sure how to do that exactly. Alright, Jinzo Returner, honestly, this card cannot attack directly when it's set to the graveyard card. When Jinzo in your graveyard, special summon it. When it comes to all the Jinzos, just take Jinzo, apply the Elite, apply the weak template, you're good to go. Probably give it less 4th level spells. If you want to do Jinzo Lord, make that animate object ability something it could do multiple times per day. Maybe even make it something constant so it could animate with its belts only to whip people or something. It's Jinzo. Jinzo's just cool. I'm glad I got Jinzo. I don't have enough time to think of it. We only have 5 more minutes. So before I leave, I want to shout out one more time. Let's change real quick to Dust and Focus. There we have it. Alright, so I want to shout out one more time. We are doing a painting thing on No Direction Beyond. We are painting minis together. Thank you, Param, so much for this paint. It means so much to me that you want me to be involved in the same awesome hobby as you do, because painting minis was one of those things that was always on my list. And having someone who wants to hang out with me that much and do stuff with me is touching. And you're all invited to. It's No Direction Beyond. It will be Wednesday night. Check out, it should be on our Discord. We're all painting minis together, and I want to see what y'all can paint as well. So get your color wheels ready if you like to make sure all your colors match. Get your paint ready, get your unpainted minis ready and primed and good to go, because we're gonna have a blast. Also, once again, I want to point out to Kindled Magic, Strength of Thousands. One of the authors, I think one or both of the authors for that are going to be on Paizo live, so check it out and have a great time watching that. Once again, the Academy subsystem is fantastic. You should apply it to your home games. You should apply it to your other APs. It's just really cool. I love subsystems that involve the players beyond excruciatingly complex between session downtime rules. I don't like those kinds of systems. I'm sorry. I want to get into them. I played with them in Hell's Rebels and in War for the Crown and in Kingmaker. Some people really like them. I respect that completely. I'm not a fan. I believe it puts way too much pressure on one and benefit on one player instead of the whole party, whoever the planner is, which is cool. It's cool to give the planner some stuff to do, but the Academy subsystem, it's great for planners, it's great for players, it's great for people who just want to dungeon delve because it's not that burdensome, and yet it almost forces roleplay out of those characters to achieve those character boosts, which just perfect. Themed great with the AP. Almost wish I had the time to play through the AP. I'm sure I will someday, so I don't want to spoil myself on it too hard. Thank you for showing up. Go check out Paizo's Twitch stream, because they are going to be starting in about 4 minutes or so, and probably have already started with their commercials, and it's always fun to hang out there and chat with people. So until tomorrow, I will see you all later.